All right, I'm here with Rough 39 winner via emphatic KO, mind you, Bret Cooper. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Kind of just been relaxing since the fight. Letting my body heal up a little bit. Just some shins and my foot a little sore, but other than that, feeling good, man. Happy with the result and ready to do it again soon enough.
Well, let's talk about that fight and the finish. We were probably mid to late in the third round, right?
Yeah. I think it's like halfway through it, probably.
About halfway through the third round,
Yeah.
and you hit him with this big punch, and he just goes crashing to the canvas, and you walk away. It's a walk-off KO in your pro debut. Man, how the fuck did that feel?
Oh man, it felt pretty good. At first, it was kind of like, holy shit, did I just do that? And then some of my teammates were cage side and they were going crazy. So I started going crazy. It hyped me up and stuff. And it had been a while since I fought, almost 2 years. Just I had a few fights fall out like towards the end of 2019. Uh, and then Corona happened. So I was kind of just sitting around stewing, waiting, itching to get back in there. So after all of that, it felt even better. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was super happy.
I think we all were. I think that was probably one of the cleanest knockouts I've ever seen live. That was pretty dope. And then let's talk about why we're even here in the first place. Okay, so this happens to be one of the coolest fucking things that's ever happened to me, hands down. This man right here, Bret Cooper, knocks out his opponent, walks off, right? And you think he's just going to sail off into the sunset. No. No, he comes straight to me and Ed, the commentators for Rough 39, and he says, I seen you interview everybody else. Where the fuck is my interview? And Ed is looking at his paperwork, and he goes, well, I did interview you, Bret. I did. And I just look over at Ed, and I'm just like, he's not talking to you. He's talking to me. He's talking to me.
Yeah.
That was by far one of the coolest fucking things to happen. And it really does speak to that raw, like, emotion right after a tough fight, because it was a dog fight.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, all 3 rounds, right up until you put the boy unconscious, I mean, that was a tough fight. And to see all of this transpire in just a couple minutes, really, and then to get called out, which was super fucking cool. You know what I mean? I was super fucking stoked. I mean, the fucking hair was standing up on my arms like it is right now. I mean, that was dope.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even play. I wasn't even planning that. I guess I had seen that you were doing interviews leading up to the show. You know what I mean? And it's awesome what you do for the local fight scene and trying to get people's name out there a little bit more. And I just feel like as a whole, a lot of people in the city of Phoenix just kind of don't know about me too much yet, and the skills I possess. You know what I mean? And anybody that I've trained with or that I train with now will tell you, you know what I mean, that I'm the real deal. So, and I put in a lot of hard work. So that's why, I guess that's where it came from a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, nothing personal against you for sure.
Oh man, even if it was personal, I don't care. That was just the fucking coolest thing ever, man. I was so stoked, and I'm just like, well, now we got to. Now we got to have this kid on the card or on the show.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that after fight, especially when you like a lot of my amateur fights, I finished as well, but I had never KO'd somebody like that. So just the adrenaline you get from something like that, like anything would come out your mouth, man. I swear, at least me, anyways. I wish I could just like be nonchalant and relax like some people are after they win a fight, but and me, just the way I am as a person, I'm just gonna do me, and that's me right there. So like you said, just the rawest emotion there is after a 13-minute fight like that. I hadn't fought in 2 years, you know what I mean? So I was super happy to get the cage time, and then to end it emphatically like that. It was just a surge of all these happy emotions, you know what I mean? So, but yeah. And nothing, it wasn't planned, you know what I mean? Nothing like, I don't plan stuff out like that. I just talk right out the mouth, you know what I mean? So I just talk shit wherever, to whoever. It's just kind of who I am. Anybody will tell you that too. So,
well, shooting from the hip is okay by me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I got zero problems with that. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be a long thought out process. I prefer the
yeah,
rawness of it. That's probably what made it so fucking cool.
yeah,
Was was right after the fucking KO. Right after the
yeah,
KO. Like when like in the UFC or Bellator, when they go right up to the cage and start talking to the announcers, I'm like, did that just really fucking happen to
yeah,
me?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
from a commentator's perspective,
yeah.
like I
You
wonder if that's how they always feel, because I was just like, oh shit, this is dope.
got to check one off the list early, huh?
I'm 100% down with that. And then let's actually talk about your record. I mean, you don't like the scorecards.
Yeah,
So and really your fighting style, says as much. I mean, you come forward, you throw heavy, you're not afraid to take the fight wherever it goes. I mean,
yeah,
you've got Anacondas, Von Blues, ground and pound, now a fucking walk-off KO. I mean, come on. That's cool shit.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Ever since I just first started training all the martial arts at the same time and started really thinking about fighting, I just felt like I was well rounded. And growing up, I played like football, basketball, baseball. You know what I mean? So no matter what time of year it was, I was always busy, and I really feel like that's contributed to my coordination and my ability to pick up on fighting pretty quickly. I mean, I took my time as an amateur. I was an amateur for a while, but I really did that on purpose just to hone my skill set to a high level. That way, I'm ready for the big dogs earlier than what I would have been if I would have turned pro after 3 or 4 amateur fights. So, but yeah, I've always kind of been well rounded and always felt like anywhere a fight goes that I can finish it when I want to. So it's something I kind of pride myself on, honestly.
Well, I mean, good for you. Good for you. And then training everything at the same time. That
Yeah,
just it brings the whole skill set up at the same time. So that's awesome.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then, the extensive amateur career, you took 11 fights, at least
yeah.
according to the apology, right? Because I
Yeah.
know there's probably some unsanctions in there somewhere.
I should have had more, even like sanctioned ones. I probably had about 5 or 6 or 7, even 7 maybe amateur fights fall out. It happens all the time. So I could have had a lot more. And on top of all those amateur fights, especially since I moved out here to Arizona, I've been training with really high quality people. And the rounds you get on a Saturday where we wear, little puffy MMA gloves, and it's pretty much a straight up fight, as close as you can get to it. So the rounds that I get against people in the UFC, Bellator, PFL, whatever, are invaluable to me too. It gave me a lot of experience, and it has me feeling like I've already seen what the best has to offer. You know what I'm saying? So I just need to get in there and get the cage time and get comfortable with it, and I'm gonna be there one day.
Okay, and let's talk about the gym a little bit. Go ahead and tell the audience where you train and some of your training partners.
Okay, I train out of Fight Ready MMA in Scottsdale. Um, some of my training partners over there be like Henry Corrales, Bobby Moffitt, Dan Moret, Ray Waters, like coaches Santino, DeFranco, Eddie Cha, Alan Veers, and then Angel Cejudo is a wrestling coach. We got Chad Ikea as a strength and conditioning coach over there. So there's pretty much everything you need there. I live with Jakar Close and Courtney Casey, so I train with Jakar a lot. I go over to Augusto Mendez's place, Soul Fighters in Tempe, a couple times a month and do some live grappling and stuff like that. And Tank's one of the best in the world and one of the nicest guys. So really, I get to be around a lot of high level people all the time, like I said. So even for the last, I've been in Arizona 5 years. I started training in Florida. I went to college out there. That's where I first started fighting. And then I moved out here 5 years ago. And since then, I've really been training like a professional. I just haven't been able to say that I was a professional. But if you ask anybody that I train with, they tell you that I have the skills. You know what I mean? So maybe that's where that call out came from a little bit too. Like I said, maybe people don't realize kind of what they got here, but I'm gonna prove it. You know what I mean? So
Well, Ed, I mean, how does it feel to start off your professional career as a mixed martial artist with that result?
yeah, I mean it feels really good, honestly, because I know that's what like the UFC is looking for or whatever. Obviously, I got to get some more wins and stuff like that. But I have a lot of buddies that went the Contender Series route, like my buddy Hunter Azure, who I train with at Fight Ready. when he moved out here from Montana or wherever he came from, I know he was like 5-6-0 in under a year and fought on the Contender Series and got signed to the UFC, and he's had good success over there. So if I just keep doing things like that, I know good things are going to happen for me, you know. And then in my mind and in my goals, where I see myself, like, yeah, it's cool, I got that knockout, it's whatever, but to me, I got a lot more left to accomplish, and I'm going to do a lot more cooler shit than that, hopefully, you know what I mean? So
Well, that's going to be hard to top, but you know,
yeah,
you still got a long road ahead of you.
yeah.
What's the activity rate that you want to keep up? Going forward.
Well, I know Ruff is talking about doing shows like every month until June, so I would at least like to fight April, May, maybe again in June, but I'd like to get 4 or 5 fights in this year. And the way I see things going, I want to finish every single one of those fights, you know what I mean? So, and then we'll see what happens after that. But for 2021, I want to get 4 or 5 fights, definitely. Like, my body's not too banged up, even though we were back and forth for 13 minutes, you know, like, when I watch that fight back, I am a little disappointed in some stuff. Like, I feel like I could have got it done quicker. But my game plan was kind of to come out and take things slow because I hadn't fought in a long time. And I just wanted to get comfortable with the timing and things like that. And I feel like the fight kind of, when you watch it, you can kind of tell, because the second round, I really started picking it up on him and going to the body. And that was a game plan I had going into the fight too. So really, I'm happy that I followed my game plan, but he hit me a little more than I think he should have and stuff like that. So I got a lot of things to take away from it, which I'm happy about.
Well, and that's the thing too. Getting that long of a fight in your pro debut,
Yeah.
and then you still walk away with that fucking result. Which,
Yeah.
if anybody doesn't know, it was a walk-off KO, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. It was a walk-off KO. It was the cleanest finish on the card, hands down. I
Yeah.
mean, we had 15 fights in total because of the one that dropped out,
Yeah.
and there was only 3 decisions on the entire card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should this fight have gone to the scorecards, you'd have walked away with the decision pretty decisively.
Yeah.
But that's not going to work for you. You went out there, you fucking put the man to the shadow realm. I don't even know where he's at these days. But I tell you what, it's just one of those things where the pace of the card was phenomenal. The
Yeah.
finishes were phenomenal. But really, I mean, it don't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, if they say, all right, you ready, fight, and then you just march over there and, put them to sleep in the first, 10
Yeah.
seconds, that's good too.
Even something like that, though, you could always, kind of say maybe I got lucky or something like that. But when it's over almost a whole 15 minutes, and then you finally knock somebody out, if it's kind of like it wasn't just one shot. Yeah, it was one shot that put him to sleep, but it was over the period of time, going to the body, starting to land the right hand upstairs, body kicks too, stuff like that. That really, I think, took away from his gas tank and then made it that shot. Just I had to touch him clean and he was going to go down, So it was a war of attrition over time. So that's what I'm happy about as well. That, like you said, that I got that cage experience. I honestly think that 13 minutes might be longer than all of my amateur fights combined, like win or lose, honestly. So, like, it's pretty funny how it worked out, but I'm happy about it.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's, too much negative to be taken away from this fight because, the result went the way that you wanted it to. You followed your game plan. And look, live, those body shots were so
Yeah.
fucking nasty, bro.
Yeah.
Those things were fucking nasty. I mean, you got some power, bro.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. And it's funny because a lot of people that I've trained with or I've trained with in the past be like, oh, you don't got no pop, nothing like that. But I'm like, I'm just a good teammate, man. I don't hit you hard. I'm not really trying to fucking kill my teammates. But when you're in that cage and you got somebody else who's trying to take your head off in front of, well, this time there's no fans, but I had plenty of family and friends watching, and someone's trying to hurt you and embarrass you in front of people that you know and love, it's pretty easy just to start letting shit go and really trying to hurt somebody.
Okay, and so with the schedule that you want to keep, Ruff's got another card scheduled for April 24th.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the injuries look like because we all walk away from fights injured, and
Yeah.
we enter injured, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So, do you think that 24th card is a little too soon, or if they called you, you'd be able to answer?
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, I would if they called me and it was the right fight and something that I felt like was a smart decision to make. Like, because I'm also going to be smart. That's also something I've took from how long I took as an amateur. Like, I want to be smart about how I do this. You know, it's not just a tough man competition. Like, this is a profession, and if you start off your career, you know, win some, lose some, you're never going to make any money in this sport. So my plan is to be smart about it, take good fights, take tough fights and hard challenges at the right time. And yeah, so if they called me with something that I liked and my injuries are healed up in time, which I think they are, you know, I haven't trained all week really. I went into the gym just to bullshit with the guys, but I've kind of relaxed and my shin and my ankle are feeling a lot better. My right hand's a little bit swollen and stuff, but it's going down. So I could be ready for that for sure.
Okay, and as a newly minted pro, okay, what is a message you would give to some of these amateurs that are coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, pretty much what I've been talking about, and I've told some that I've talked to or whatever. Just take your time. I feel like there's certain circumstances where maybe it doesn't make sense to take your time, but a lot of these guys get to 4-0 or maybe they're 5-1, whatever, and they have just the right amount of fights to turn pro, and they turn pro, and then they lose their first pro fight, and then maybe they win their second pro fight, and they lose their third, and they're up and down, and they're never going to make any money. You know what I mean? And this sport isn't about money for me, like, because obviously the money's not that great. Even when you get to the highest levels, you know, you got to get there and stay there. So really, and that's how I look at the whole thing. It's more of a marathon, not a sprint. And I feel like a lot of amateur fighters could do that more in this sport, whereas opposed to like boxing, you know, some amateurs have 300-400 fights. Now it'd be a little hard to get that many amateur MMA fights, but there's no reason guys shouldn't get 15, 20 amateur MMA fights, you know what I mean? Especially because they're 3 3-minute rounds. You could fight a lot, you know, and I feel like a lot of people kind of rush it in this sport. When really if they are up and down, like I said, you're never gonna make any money in the long run, which is what your goal should be if this is gonna be your profession. You know what I mean? Obviously you do it because you love it, but you do it to make money too. So you gotta be smart about it.
Okay, and do you have like a 1 year, a 5 year, a 10 year plan for your mixed martial arts career?
In 5 years, for sure, I see myself in the UFC fighting amongst the best. But really, I have goals in my head and stuff like that that I've thought about since the first day I walked into a gym and stuff like that, and I'm slowly making my way to them, you know. And I'm trying to focus on the right now. That's one thing Corona taught me is like you just got to be in the moment. Nothing is concrete anymore. You know, like I honestly didn't even think the fight was gonna happen until I showed up the day of the fight, and I was like, "Is he here?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm fighting today." There we go. Like even after weigh-ins and shit, like just 'cause I was like still something that who knows, like right. I went to Vegas with my buddy Jakar, and he was supposed to fight, and one of the other corners tested positive, and literally like 2 hours before he was about to get in the van and head to the Apex, they're like, "Oh, your fight's pulled off," you know. So I seen shit very last second happen. So I literally once I got there and I asked Jason Martinez, like, "Is Jordan here?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool, fuck, we're getting in a fight tonight. Let's do it." So yeah, I've just really been focusing on the present, and for the next year, like I said, my goal is to go out there and win 4 or 5 fights, all by finish, and see where I'm at after that.
Okay, well, and definitely the anything can happen in the cage as well as outside of the cage. I mean,
Yeah,
your fight does not happen until both of you guys are in the cage and
yeah,
the ref says go.
yeah,
Look at what happened to Roman
yeah,
on Saturday. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Nothing is guaranteed in this sport.
yeah. And
So,
that was crazy too. I felt so bad for my man Roman because he was about to whoop that dude's ass and literally about to walk out there, and that happens. I'd never seen anything like that, and the Arizona Commission should remove that dude's license, and he should never be allowed to fight anywhere again. Like for something like that to happen, he shouldn't be allowed anywhere. So if he fights again, I'd really be disappointed in the commission out here because that's a bad look for the entire sport. You know what I mean? Like MMA's come such a long way from how people originally viewed it, and certain people still view it, you know, as a little like barbarian and stuff like that. And then when you see stuff like that happen, it's even worse, right? Like it's a bad look, and they shouldn't let that guy fight again ever.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate situation, and it kind of brought back an itch a little bit. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I gotta stick to the desk. But you
yeah.
know, it's just one of those things where I had never seen anything like that, and
I,
we all have seen hundreds
crazy.
of thousands, if not millions, of fights, right?
Yeah, that was wild. Like I said, I started my amateur career in Florida, and I never even saw anything that wild out there. And fucking Florida's batshit crazy, dude. So if I never seen nothing like that in Florida, man, out here, I was like, what the hell? But yeah, like I said, they should never allow that guy to fight again. That's an embarrassment to the sport. And I almost think he should be forced to come on down to Fight Ready or something and just fight Roman anyway, so Roman could beat the brakes off his ass. Like that. That's what should happen, but it won't. But I wish it could.
Well, I don't want to turn this into the Roman
Yeah,
show, but
yeah,
for sure, I spoke to him in an interview before the fight, and then I spoke to him at weigh-ins, and I spoke to him, while you guys were getting warm in the back, and
yeah,
he was firing on all cylinders,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that to happen to him was pretty disappointing. I'm
yeah,
trying to keep things,
yeah,
pretty tame for the way that I feel because I was fucking pissed.
yeah.
I was fucking pissed,
Yeah, I
but.
mean, obviously, like name wise, he had the biggest name on the card. Like he used to be in the UFC, fought in Bellator. So I'm sure Ruff was pretty pissed for it to be that fight that happened to. It could have happened to a lot more low profile fights or something like that. And not, yeah. So, but hopefully he gets another fight soon and can go in there and do what he wants to do.
Well, I'm just hoping that Ruff can put on more shows and
Yeah,
and get you guys back to activity.
yeah,
And I mean, because dude, after that, I want
yeah.
to see you fight tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. I mean, and the thing was like about trying to make my pro debut is like these other states that were doing fights, like they're not gonna want to fly in somebody that's 0-0 to come to the, you know what I'm saying, and fight and have to pay me and stuff. Now that I have one win and by KO or whatever, it might be a little bit easier for me maybe to get some of these out of state fights. People be more willing to bring you in and stuff like that. But as a debuter, it was pretty much impossible. So I was just stuck waiting until the Arizona Commission let people out here do shows. And I really hope some other Ruff does a great job, and they're great at what they do. And I hope some other promotions start popping up again because there needs to be a couple more just for all these local guys to get their shows in and or get their experience, get their fights in, because it's important. That's the future of the sport right there. So without the local shows happening, nobody's like getting better and climbing their way up the ranks and stuff like that. So it's a whole trickle down effect of the whole system. But yeah, I'm excited that Ruff is back, and I'm happy for him. So
Yeah, I think it was a very successful show. Lots of finishes on the card, just
yeah,
a bunch of highlights.
yeah,
Probably out there right now, yours included.
yeah,
Probably the most highlighted, right? It's got to.
yeah. Probably I would guess, but there were some other nice finishes. I know the fight after me, that guy finished the fight in like 15 seconds. That Ivan Tena dude is a tough guy. So I know there were some good finishes on there, and I'm sure Ruff was happy that all these dope finishes happen on their first card back, and like you said, there's some good videos they can put out. MMA Stalker made some dope highlight videos already. I saw they had a dope angle of my finish that I hadn't seen yet until they posted it. So, but yeah, I'm super happy with the result. But like I said, I'm not where I want to be at yet. I still look at my bank account and like, damn, I'm broke, baby. I gotta get shit in gear. So I I'm not just gonna rest on that and live off that glory. I'm gonna go out there soon and knock somebody else out, and then keep doing that shit.
Okay, now before I let you go, we got to talk about what you ate after that KO.
Oh man, I've ate literally everything. I think the night of the fight, we went to Justin Piazza's La Piazza Al Forno or something like that. But La Piazza is what it's called. But he's got the best pizza here in Phoenix, I think. And we went over there and munched on some pizza, all the fight ready guys. And then that next day, I think I had like Whataburger, Popeyes. Yeah, Whataburger, mushroom, and Swiss. Fuck, I cannot say no to that sandwich. Whataburger is the best, man. They're underrated. Everybody's always In and Out, In and Out. I'm like, fuck In and Out. I'm not, yeah. I'm not waiting in that line. I'm gonna go get Whataburger. Give me a mushroom and Swiss, damn it. But I think I had Whataburger, Popeyes. Probably ate like a box of mini wheats. Took some Gushers out and some popcorn, and like just woke up the next day like an iron gut, like you know what I mean? And I'm still feeling it today, but you got to get that off. You know, it's about balance. Life's about balance to me. So you're in samurai mode for however many weeks your camp is, and then after that you kind of got to relax. And that's one of my favorite parts about fighting, honestly, is just the mental deep breath you got to take after a fight, because it's just something you think about so much leading up to it. It's such a mental roller coaster. You think about, like, literally for me in the back, I think about everything you could think of. Like, I'll be like, man, what the fuck am I doing? Like, in my head, I'll be like, what the fuck? How did you end up here? Like, you're about to go fight this dude in your underwear. And then I'll just like come back like, you're a bad motherfucker, man. You can go out there, you're going to beat this dude's ass. And it's just the whole night. You're just up and down this roller coaster. And then when it's finally over, and especially when you win, it's just like you can take such a hypothetical deep breath, you know what I mean? And just relax and kind of enjoy life.
Well, that laundry list of food. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was good. It hurt to talk about Whataburger and not have it right in front of me.
I know.
But I'll allow it.
There's one like literally right by where we live, and they're open 24/7. So it's always like I'll be like get some late night munchies. Like I can get a mushroom and Swiss. Like it's not that many calories. I'll got enough. I'll be good. So yeah, and 55 is not tough for me to make. So I definitely like camp isn't like horrible for me. You know, like I eat healthy and stuff. You know, but I could get away with certain things if I wanted to. So yeah, maybe one day 145 would be in my future, but I kind of like just being able to enjoy life. You know, like a lot of people, it just seems like life sucks for them when they're dieting and, you know, in camp and stuff like that. And for me, I'd rather be in camp and think about the fight than be super worried about my weight. Like, honestly, I don't start looking at a scale until about 2 weeks from weigh-ins.
Oh, shit.
And then I'm like, all right, let's see. Like I said, I eat healthy. I'm always training and stuff, but I'm not like constantly every day looking at my weight. And then I'll look at it a couple weeks out and be like, all right, well, maybe. Usually I'm like 175, so that's pretty easy for me to make 55s.
Damn. I mean, I had to get all the way down and just so that I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't think about it. I had to get all the way down to whatever weight I was competing at, and then just stay there until after the fight. Then I could do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I definitely remember when I first started as an amateur, I would that's all I would think about. Look at the scale every day, or just even the fight. Like think about the fight every single day. Treat it like it's like judgment day, you know, and overthink things. I'm a little bit of an overthinker, so I found for myself it's a little better if I just kind of don't think about the weight or don't even like think about the fight, but not really until the week of the fight where I let it just take over my whole entire mental, you know what I mean? Which is something I feel like I got better at. And another thing that my amateur experience allowed me to learn, right? I learned that over time through trial and error and stuff like that, which is another reason I think people should take their time as amateurs. But
the one thing that I kept thinking about was I gotta pee, and then I'd go try to pee, and there'd be nothing there.
yeah,
I think my shorts were just tied so tight that it was like cutting the circulation off. Because my biggest fear is, what if I get out there and the dude shoots a takedown and fucking, you know, shows my ass and balls to everybody?
Yeah, or you like fuck some of the fighters I've seen have shit themselves. Dude, that's one for me. I'm like, could you imagine shitting yourself in a fight? I mean, oh man, that would almost be worse than getting knocked out to shit yourself. But yeah, I've seen
about that.
I remember, so I know it's happened. I think the fight's over, right? Like if you shit yourself, the fight's done. It's like if you puke, I know you lose the fight.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, like, if you throw up, the fight's over and you get it's like you got TKO'd or something. But I'm not sure what they do for shit. That might be a good strategy for somebody. Just shit on the dude, and then he ain't gonna want to grapple you no more or nothing, you know, and not get out. Be an easier fight for you.
Oh man. Well, I guess I have some research that I need to do to find out, you know, the legalities behind shitting yourself in the cage.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the fight's over though. It's got to be. I know if I was the other guy, I'd be like, this fight's over. This dude just shit himself. We're not fighting no more. But yeah, I'm not sure the rules on that. I don't. The MMA rules are always like, kind of weird, right? That's something they could fix about it. Like, and it's such a young sport, so there's a lot of things they could fix about it. And I always tell people that, family members or something that aren't that familiar with the sport, that we're like in the Babe Ruth leather helmet stages of MMA right now, compared to like all these other professional sports that have been around for a long time, and everybody's still kind of figuring things out. So I think the rule set is something they could work on for sure. Just, get a more unified, wherever everything is under one rule set, like not, oh, you're in this state and his hand's down, so he's a grounded opponent, you can't knee him. In Arizona, they were saying, I think backstage, they told us if both hands are down, he's down. But like if a guy's on one hand, you can knee him in the face, but it's just confusing. So
And definitely for traveling fighters too. So
yeah,
if you were to take a fight out of Arizona, then it's not unified. So you have to worry about whatever their rule set is over.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just keep knocking people out with my right hand, and that's always legal, So there we go. I don't got to worry about that shit.
100%. Well, dude, hey man, this has been fun. I'm super, super happy and grateful for the call out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll never forget that shit. You are 100% going down in my brain in history for me. This is always going to be remembered. And I think, the call out, but the KO too. Like people are going to remember that. People are going to remember that finish because it was the best finish on the card. It was emphatic. Like I said, you walked off. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen, too often in MMA where there's a walk-off KO like that. Like I remember I was just watching a fight in the UFC and they called it a walk-off and he had follow-up punches. That's not a walk-off. You know what I mean? Yours was a true walk-off. Bink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to be ingrained up here forever.
All right, sweet, man. All right, that's a good compliment. But hopefully, I got some other sweet stuff coming throughout my career that you're gonna remember about even more. And like I said, thank you for having me on. And no hard feelings. Like I told you, I just seen that you had interviewed some other people, and I'm like, man, they don't know what's about to happen on this show. Man, they should have been interviewing me. So maybe next time before I fight, I'll come on before the fight too. We'll get another one in.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me some time out of your day. I know you're still healing up, so the timing worked out pretty perfect.
Yeah,
but for my viewers and followers and stuff, go ahead and drop your tags.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at bcoopmma, Facebook just Bret Cooper, Bret with one T, and I have Twitter. It's HOV Bret. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram if you want to see kind of training and stuff like that. But I don't put too much stuff on there training wise, just because I know opponents be looking at it. I'm like, I always make jokes that I'm gonna put up videos of myself looking terrible. And to be like, if my guy looks at it, he's like, "God, this dude sucks." So yeah, that's what I want you to think, dude. But yeah, if people just want to follow me and follow my journey, that'd be sweet.
100%, man. Well, again, thanks for the call out, the time of your day. I cannot wait to see you get into action again, my man. I will be front and center.
Yeah, and this time we're gonna top it. I really think so. My plan was to get a knee KO, because I knew this dude was gonna start wrestling me after I started landing some strikes on him, and I'm just a tall, rangy dude, so I know guys are gonna want to wrestle me up. So I was planning to time a right knee or something when he shot into it and sleep him that way. So maybe I'll cook something up like that this next time.
All right, man. Well, you get to the kitchen and cook something up good, because I am stoked, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. I'm probably about to get some Whataburger here in a little bit. Now that
damn.
It's got to happen. It's right there. So.
All right, brother. Well, you go enjoy your Whataburger, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, bro.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, later.